All right, guys. So reporting for 90 day before the 90 days, part one of the tell all. Then we're gonna get into the second part of the tell all, and just kind of wrap up my final thoughts. And you guys can always comment with your thoughts. Depending on the platform you're checking me out on, you can always comment right below, or you can email me at cbiztv@yahoo.com. That's cbiztv@yahoo.com. So, they didn't focus on all the couples. As far as I saw, all the couples were there, but you know how everyone chimes in on everybody else's situation. So that was happening there as well. Turns out Dempsey is not so sweet when it comes to the relationship with Statler. Statler's friend came out and said, they're not really sure about Dempsey. Dempsey kind of shuts down and they have bad communication issues, so they may need to seek counseling. And I did see Dempsey shut down literally during the tell-all when being confronted by these issues. So Dempsey has some things to work out with herself. So, everything's not perfect in that situation. Then we have Riley and Violet. We're surprised at the final episode where we find out Violet got pregnant by Riley the last night he was in her country. And he's stating that, of course, there's a less than 1% chance he can get anyone pregnant because of the medicine that he is on. He also let us know that he saw red flags about her, but he still continued the relationship. And I did kind of see that during the show, that they both kind of were butting heads, but they still wanted to see each other anyway. But he said, he had to get a private investigator on her. And some of the other couples were like, they didn't like the fact that their relationship starts out without trust, a mistrusting relationship in the beginning. But in this day and age, especially if you're dealing with people online and those type of relationships and you don't know these people, some of the couples or parts of the couples agreed, yes, doing a background check and getting investigation on someone can be beneficial and understandable. And some were like, you're starting out without trust in the beginning, so that's a bad situation from the start. And even the host was asking, why did Riley continue the relationship, seeing all these negative things? Because he wanted love, he wanted the relationship to work, so he continued to push forward. And how many of us do that? We see red flags, but we want to be in love. We hope we found love. Sometimes we make excuses for the person. It's not a good idea. It's not a good deal. But I must say that I've also done that as well. But if the flags are big and red enough, I will excuse myself and I will walk away. And if you see some really major red flags, I admonish anyone to walk away. Don't try to make something work that is unworkable. And that's just my opinions and my thoughts. Of course, they talked to Gino and Jasmine. Jasmine was louder than ever, as usual. And, there was a little argument there with their discussion. We find out, and she actually did say that she had sex with her ex like last week. I recall her saying that in one of the episodes, but then when we go to the tell-all, it's as if, this happened in the past. She has a sex tape with her ex, and she still has it somewhere, but they're saying the fact that she still has the sex tape means something, that she's still holding on to it. The fact that she made it was probably a pretty bad idea. But she's saying this is her past, and Jasmine is not, living that lifestyle and cheating at this time. So she wants to be with Gino. I'm sure more information will come out moving forward. And if anything I missed, I'll cover in probably later on in this episode as we wrap things up. But Gino and Jasmine are at it again. They're my Ricky and Lucy, my I Love Lucy couple. Some of it is just foolishness. Some of it's crazy. Sometimes I don't even understand how Gino continues to put up with some of the things that she does. Not that he's perfect, but he definitely looks like the better one in this situation, in this relationship. I don't know how to feel. I know if I was in a relationship like that, I would always be stressed. I feel like I'd be Gino in the relationship. I'm the more level-headed one, I believe. I'm the one that will, try to keep trying even though it's hard. And, as a woman, I found myself being Jasmine. I found myself being very emotional in my relationships. And, when I really loved and cared about somebody, I tend to get a little emotional, maybe even a little irrational at times. But I think it's good to have a partner that's going to put you in your place, and you're going to hear them and not just continue to have a fit or be upset all the time. And I know people don't like when you say female hormones can sometimes make us a little crazy, but I can personally say that that's true for myself. And I can't speak for all women, but this is me, and my hormones have played a part in sometimes being upset, sometimes being irrational, sometimes being a little jealous, being a little too much. And I'm glad that I have a partner that right now that I'm talking to, and hopefully we make it to marriage. But I'm glad I have someone that kind of lets me know we still have things to work on, but we kind of let each other know when something isn't good or something isn't right or something doesn't feel right. And I hope we continue in that, just because no one's perfect. You kind of have to sometimes you have to work with people where they are at. And speaking of that, I'm thinking of Nicola and Misha, and everyone is kind of putting Nicola down and saying that he's kind of chauvinistic in a way. They didn't use that word, but because of his beliefs, and the man is the head of everything as far as God is concerned, and this is how it's set up. And even though I do see those things, and I do see that sometimes he can be insensitive to Misha, and I don't think that's a good thing, but sometimes you have to work with people where they're at. I don't think he's a mean person. I think, and even Jasmine pointed out, he doesn't have a lot of relationship experience. So when a woman cries or feels emotional, and he hasn't played the part of boyfriend or partner that much in his life in 46 years, and she's 43, she's been married, divorced, has 2 children, so she has more experience. He has less experience in dealing and relating with the women. But I see an attempt, but I see that he does have a lot more work to do, as he talks about how he apologizes. He apologized in certain scenarios, but it's kind of like he lightly, matter of fact, takes the situation, and he needs to take it a little bit more deeper. But I respect him in his beliefs, as well as Misha. The things that were really pointed out were all the daughters. When the daughters came in the picture, and they said, well, we don't want to be overly judged because he's a staunch Catholic, so is the mother, but they said they're teenagers, they're still coming of age, and they don't want to be put under some type of constraints as this guy comes into their home and kind of says, I'm the man of the house and we're going to live this Catholic lifestyle, and you guys can't do this or that. And that's kind of what they were kind of letting us know. Is this going to be an issue? Is he going to be overbearing to their mom? That was a concern as well. So I respected the daughters and their thoughts and opinions, and I could somewhat relate to that, because being a person that grew up in a home of divorce, and my mom dating guys and all of that, it did feel weird at times. It did feel like, this person is going to come in and change our atmosphere and who are they going to be, and how are they going to treat my mom, and how are they going to treat us. And, they're also saying since Nikola isn't really understanding and patient with women, is the way that he's treating Misha, will he be patient with the daughters and their emotions and their feelings? And he really has to work on that part of relating to women and relating when a family environment is going to be all women there. And how is he going to treat them? Is he going to be overbearing? Is he going to be, I'm the man of the house? Or is he going to have a level of sensitivity that you need as a man when you're dealing with women? You just need that. You can't, it's not the Stone Age, and you can't just muscle all the women around and all of this. We do need more men today that will be the head and will stand up and will lead the home, but he also has to have some level of sensitivity as well. He has to have a good balance as a man in order to lead and run a household, and that's just reality of what needs to be done, in my opinion, as a woman. And, there may be men that have other thoughts, but, you definitely, it's not like we hear about happy wife, happy life. It's not that, but it's some of that, and it's some of, okay, we do follow the head of our house, but the head of our house has to be a person of love, a person that represents positivity. He's supposed to be a man of faith, so that's a good thing. But as your leader of the home, just because you're a man, you're a leader. No, you have to have those skills and qualities to be able to lead in different situations and scenarios. And if you go into this new already made home, what type of man are you going to be? So that's really important. I can understand and relate to the daughters there. There was also a comment from Amanda, and she sounds like she's saying, I don't know if she's fully really a person of faith, but she said, the man is supposed to be the head of the house, and this is what she knows, and I think this is what she believes and grown up with, so she does agree with him. So I thought that was a little different. She was probably the only woman that agreed with some of the thoughts of Nikola and his stance on things. But again, like I said, it's nuanced. Being the man of the house, you have to have kind of a connection to the female, as well as being masculine and having that good balance, because you just want a nice, happy household and a nice, happy family at the end of the day. So that's kind of my wrap-up thoughts of part 1. We're going to get more into part 2 as we, wrap up this season of Before the 90 Day. I think it was a pretty good season overall. I'll be right back.
JerichoCredit.com.
The Friday Hype on LICMC Radio.
Hey everyone. So we're covering part 2 of the 90 Day Before the 90 Days Tell-All. Starting with David and Sheila, the couple that everyone's rooting for. David is deaf. I believe Sheila has hearing issues as well. I'm not exactly sure what her hearing problems may be, but I know that she had an issue also trying to learn sign language, so she's working on her sign language for David. And her son John Rail, they weren't sure if he wants to go to America after they get married, so that was an issue for them. But I say, growing up when I was a kid, whatever my parents said went. If we're moving to another country, we're moving to another city, we're moving to another house, they may care about what I have to say, but if we're moving, we're moving. That's me when I was a kid growing up. But David's really doing a lot. He's trying to help fix Sheila's family home. David and Sheila have started their own little store. Sheila started in her country. And he's working 85 hours to make this thing work. And finally, for them to get married. So, they might have to wait 2 to 3 years for the visa, which is disheartening for David and both of them actually. But they said they're going to work it out. They're going to fight it out. And they're going to have their happily ever after. So I definitely applaud them for sticking together through ups and downs. Her mother died during his trip there to her country. It was just a lot that went on, but they are still together. They're still trying to go strong. So I commend them for their love and their relationship, probably the strongest couple of this season. And we have Christian and Cleo. Cleo's a transsexual woman, and Christian is new to that type of lifestyle, but is forged a relationship with Cleo. But Christian has his issues as far as it seems like he flirts a lot and pays attention to a lot of different women, especially in the bars and different scenes that they go to. So, some people may see him as maybe a jerk or something like that. I don't know. He does have an off-putting personality in some way, and a snide personality. But at the end of the day, he says he loves Cleo and he wants to have a relationship with her. Also, that he kind of asked, "Would you marry me in the future?" And that he may actually propose when he goes back to her country in the future. Jasmine had a lot to say about everyone, but she championed. She doesn't like bullies. She may seem a little bit like a bully herself to Gino, but she doesn't like bullies, and she championed a lot of people. She had a lot to say, so her mouth is not only big in her relationship, but everywhere she goes. She's very entertaining. Her and Gino are my Ricky and Lucy, I Love Lucy couple. They were kissing, a lot of PDA. Their wedding is coming up soon, and they're still trying to plan their wedding. Even though they've had tons of ups and downs, it seemed like Jasmine was kicking it with her old dude, Dane. She said she didn't do that during the relationship. They had a sex tape. A lot of issues with Gino's not really being in a sexual mood, and different things that she was challenged and not feeling sexy enough because of that. All of these things happening, and then they had an issue also with their visa, which I think that they're moving forward past that. I'm not sure if that's fully resolved, but I know they're getting married in 90 days, so things look pretty good for them. Things are looking up, I think. But yeah, been through a lot, but they both seem very messy. Definitely different from David and Sheila. They seem like they're going to work together, very loving toward each other. Jasmine and Gino butt heads a lot. She wanted a prenup. No, he wanted a prenup. She wanted a will. It was just so messy, and Jasmine did kind of give gold digger vibes when she didn't want that prenup, but she did want a will. And Gino, he was like, "Hey, should I fear for my life?" He said the thing that I was definitely thinking. I think the audience was definitely thinking, why does she want a will? And he said, yeah, we're not even married yet, but their relationship forges on, and I think they've already been in 2 different seasons, I think, of 90 Day, the 90 Day franchise. And I think they're going to be in the next one coming up as well. So even though they're messy, I'm rooting for them, and I hope they make it to the end, because they've been through too much to let go now, right? And like I said, they've been through a lot, but Nicola gives the 2, Jasmine and Gino, advice. He said, try Jesus. Jasmine was kind of nice about it, but she kind of tried to make a joke about it on the other side as well. But Nicola's trying to convert everybody to Jesus. I'm not mad at him. Nicola and Misha look like they're going to try to stay together and work things out. We don't know what their relationship's going to look like. Is he going to be controlling and heavy-handed on her children, on her? Who knows? We hope the best for them. I feel like Misha does have it under control, and I don't think that... I think even though Nicola tries to have, a heavy-handed, I think on some level he tries to have a heavy-handed leadership style. I think Misha's got this in the bag. She's definitely the one I feel that's in control at the bottom, in the bottom line of this relationship. All right, so then we go to Riley and Violet. And you know, Riley, I kind of like the way he was calling out Christian on some of the things he did during he and Cleo's relationships. He was kind of calling out some of the guys, and I respect that, as well as he called out Rosvin. But with him and Violet, we find out sadly that Violet lost the baby that she said that they had together, that she was pregnant with. I don't know, I'm still a little unsure, but I do have sympathy for her, because if she really lost a child, I definitely have sympathy for her. Well, we all should. But I don't know what's going to happen between them. He seems to have the door a little bit cracked. She may have it cracked too, so they're supposedly just maybe friends. When she comes to the States, they may hang out, but nothing further. We'll see. I think Riley's going to get wrapped back up into Violet. I just think he will. She had a lot of red flags, but yet he still pursued her and moved forward with her, so who knows what he's going to do in the future. Again, he called out Rosvin. With Rosvin and Amanda, we find out that they broke up, which I was a little surprised. I thought they were going to break up during the actual series, but find out the tell-all that they did break up, and maybe rightfully so. Amanda was hurtful to him with some of the things she said, but you know, that made me forget some of the red flags that he had, as far as saying, you know, he always wanted to be a U.S. citizen even before he met her, and she said she never knew that. He wants to come to the States on his own visa, but he wants to stay with her until he can find a place. So I feel like in a way he was trying to set something up with her so that he can have an easier flow when he got to America and do his American dream. And so if that's his bag, I totally against that, and I don't respect his moves. If he really loved her, that's a different story. But it seems like he's the one that broke things off in a way, because he said he wanted to focus on himself, on his career, and he wasn't ready to have a commitment with her. And on some level, I can say maybe that he wouldn't have a commitment with her. Maybe she's not the person, but if he just didn't want any type of commitment, then I feel like he shouldn't have really put her through all that. Yet and still, like he said, you have to meet somebody and find out if you really love them, if it's really worth it. And in this case, he's saying it really wasn't. And Amber, Amanda's sister, spills that she was doing some side things when it comes to social media, connecting with some guys while she was with Rosvin. And Amanda says no, it was just purely flirting and wasn't any further than that. Her sister kind of put her out there. But at the end of the day, these two are broken up. Amanda even says she's moving on. She didn't tell Rosvin that, but she said she's moved on with someone else. Then we have Tyree and Camilla and Christian. And that's the Tyree issue, where Camilla was a catfish the whole time. The producers found out Christian is the real Camilla. And we finally hear the tape of Christian saying what he said about Tyree, basically calling him a stupid American. He got $2,000 or $3,000 out of him after 4 years of playing this role. I'm sorry, he really didn't get that much money to do all of that, to send sexy pictures, to do sexual things with someone that you're not in love with or attracted to at all, and you're tricking them for 4 years. That's a crazy commitment, a scary commitment for $2,000 or $3,000. I know they probably do this to many people at once, but is it worth it? Is he really the one that's stupid? On some level, I think he has some very deep issues to play someone else for 4 years and to trick someone, to get sexually involved with somebody, even through the internet, for that long, just to get money out of someone. I think there's something deeper going on with this guy. But everyone championed Tyree. They showed love to Tyree. He said, he's going to take things slow. He's not looking for love right now. And he's just going to try to heal from this situation. But all the best to Tyree. Seems like a really nice guy. And I think that he deserves better. So that's the 90-day. Before the 90 days wrap up, the tell-all and all of this is done. Enjoy the series. Enjoy the season. We're going to talk more about 90 Day stuff, but yeah, there's just so many things that you can take from this show and so many additional thoughts when it comes to love and relationships, tricks, games, things that people do for love, games that people play, but when people are really committed and in love, how things can really work out, even in something that seems like it's not possible. So I think love can win in the end if you have true and real intentions. All right, guys, have any comments, questions, thoughts? Drop them below, depending on the platform you're checking me out on, or email me at cbiztv@yahoo.com. That's cbiztv@yahoo.com. Thanks for hanging out with me and taking this 90-day journey with me. I definitely have to say Nicola and Misha, because of their faith, was one of the couples that I really resonated with the most when it comes to this season. But everybody had their story, everybody had their bag, and it was definitely an interesting season.